There used to be a time where Japanese bikes were thought to be cheap pieces of imitation machines, trying to compete with European and American bikes. But today, they're known for their reliability, innovation, and class-topping performance. And right now, it seems like that's the case with China, which begs the question, are Chinese machines really all that bad?
"2024 will be the third year that we have been creating content with DirectAsia. And thanks to that, we are proud of the 333 community that has been formed and growing day by day. We love hearing you tell us about your thoughts and experiences from To The Test and seeing you explore places from bikers and bikes.
It's amazing to see our community enjoying the content, and even more so to witness more people explore freedom on two wheels because of it. We create content because we believe the freedom afforded by two wheels needs to be shared. And every single rider embodies this every time they swing their leg over and start their engines.
It is this shared belief that enables us to run the Two-Wheel Freedom campaign with DirectAsia, to meet fellow riders who share our interests, to keep creating content that you love. If you'd like to help support your community directly, consider DirectAsia as your insurance of choice.
Experience two-wheel freedom with DirectAsia. Use promo code VERYOK30 at checkout for a $30 eCapita voucher or VERYOK60 for a $60 eCapita voucher. Head on down to directasia.com/333 for more information. Thank you to DirectAsia for making this video possible. That's a really difficult question to answer because the CLX does some things well, but some things it does just left me scratching my head. First up, I would say the CLX 700 Heritage, this exact bike, is unfortunately really ugly. It's 700cc, so it sits in the same category as the XSR 700, as the 650 GT, but it looks like a weird chimeric mishmash of the Ducati Scrambler and the Honda CBR 600. Like, apart from this strange X ring around the headlight, and the flush mounted headlight is quite apparent in like neo-retro machines nowadays, why is the frame cutting the tank? Like, why does the frame cut through the tank? This is so strange. And looking down at the tank, it has this weird, like, rhombus prism-like shape. Like, some things about the design is really nice. You get a stock tail tidy, very, very clean tail with a rear hugger for your license plate and stuff. And that's all legal. And you have this nice-looking exhaust that I think is one of the nicest stock exhausts I've seen out there. But then everything else looks so strange. And then you have the seat. I need to stop to show you the seat. The front of the bike looks pretty muscular and okay, I can get behind it. It's a neo-retro bike. It's a little bit more muscular, a bit more chonky. But the rear seat is so weird and fat. I really don't like the divot from the Ducati Scrambler, but this takes it to the next level. Like, what is this? And it's so soft. Like, look at how soft this is as compared to the pillion seat, which is a little bit stiffer. Some people might like soft seats, but this provides no support. As compared to the Scrambler that I tried out last month, this is way too soft. My experience is that normally when a seat is this soft, after riding on it for long periods of time, especially like when you're touring, when you're going further distances, it's not the most comfortable. Like, it leaves your butt aching because it's not really supporting your butt, and it's just not great. But speaking of touring, the 2024 Two-Wheel Freedom Ride is happening again this year from 10th to the 13th of October, and registrations and ticket sales are going to be starting soon. So if you guys missed out on last year's ride and all the crazy shenanigans that happened, or if you saw the roundup video from last year and want to join in this year, registrations and sales of tickets will be starting soon. So keep an eye out on our socials and 333.com because tickets sold out really quickly last year. Hope to see you guys on the road. But my comments on design really only apply to the heritage version of the bike, because there's also an adventure trim which looks a little bit more like a Scrambler, and the sport trim which looks like a pretty good muscly neo-retro cafe racer, which I kind of really like. And that's also the issue that I have with the seat. It makes it a lot thinner, a lot flatter, and I think the overall profile of the bike is way nicer. That is the version that I would consider actually getting. Oh my god. And you pair this like muscly look of the bike with this raw, grunty exhaust sound. I think the design language is slowly starting to come together for me, even though it might not be my preferred choice. Not a super huge fan of neo-retro machines, just my personal take. But for such an affordable machine, it actually has quite a few features that I really like. For one, I'm in eco mode right now, and I can just change modes just like that, and I'm in sport. It's definitely not the quickest machine, but it sounds, surprisingly sounds pretty good. But I think the biggest feature that this bike has that I was not expecting at all is cruise control. So when you turn on the switch, a light comes on, press down on the cruise control, and it's working. You have cruise control on the bike this cheap, not the Speed Twin, not the Scrambler, not the Speed Twin 900. None of the bikes so far, none of the naked retro bikes I've tried so far has cruise control as standard. This makes it so much more fun than a quick shifter, maybe. Both would be nice, but if I had to choose either or, I would choose cruise control because you get to rest on longer rides, on tours, and it's so good. Man, this makes me like the bike so much more. This is a normal cruise control though, not an adaptive cruise control, so you will still have to pay a lot of attention while you're using it. The good thing is the moment you touch on the brakes, cruise control cancels, which is great, but then we're back to design choices that make me go like, why? This bike has riding modes. This bike has ABS, has traction control. The cruise control knows when to turn off when you just hit the brakes, but it does not have a clutch switch. Does it not have a clutch switch, or is the clutch switch broken? Because maybe the clutch switch is just broken. I don't understand, because I see wires coming out of it right here. That should be the clutch switch. Like when cruise control is activated, right? You would expect if you pull in the clutch for cruise control to be cancelled, but it doesn't. So watch what happens when I pull in the clutch. The RPMs just rise. The bike just wants to keep going. And if you let go of the clutch too fast, you're gonna pop a wheelie, dude. If any of you guys know why that is, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm right. Maybe it's just broken. Like when I first fully opened the throttle on this bike, I actually thought this bike has VTEC. I don't know why. I'm stupid. Maybe it actually does have some variable valve technology that I don't know about. When we're just cruising, right? Like a little bit of throttle, and then we're just cruising. The bike sounds tame, mellow. But the moment we snap open the throttle, what the heck? What is that sound? Like it's so raw. Like for me, and I'm sure for many of you guys as well, sound is a very important part of enjoying the ride. The sound of the bike is the soul of the bike, and this is a grunty gym bro of a bike. Back to my point on the design, I think maybe it's not that this bike looks bad. I think maybe it's trying to innovate. They're trying to do something new, and it's just not what we're used to seeing. And I think that brings us back to talking about European bikes and Japanese bikes when Japanese bikes first came out, right? The feeling I get when I'm riding a European bike, or like when I want to own a European bike, I want to experience the bike as it is, as much as possible, and like feel the engineering that's gone into it. And I don't think that there's much that I want to change about the bike apart from like minor cosmetic stuff. When it comes to Japanese machines, and that applies for this Chinese CLX 700 as well, I get this excitement of wanting to customize it, wanting to build it, wanting to like make it mine. I don't think we can really fault CFMoto for its design choices, because I think it's a relatively new company and the first few bikes it puts out probably won't hit the mark. But I think what this bike does, for me at least, I might not get it, but it changed my perspective on CFMoto as a brand. Looking at the new releases recently, you have the Papio, which focuses in on fun and how fun riding can be. They released the 450 MT, bringing that fun to off-road riding and trail riding. And upcoming, we have the SR 500. Vroom. I mean, look at these bikes. They're getting more aware of what their customer really wants and what they want to represent as a brand, which I think is just fun. Because with a machine at this price, it's not that hard and not that expensive to fix it up. That makes me focus on the fun and joy of riding. I don't have to baby this bike, I can hoon around on it. And I think it makes it an amazing first bike. Like if you're someone who likes retro machines or if you like retro looking machines, this is a pretty good bike to start on. And if you're looking for something like in the mid-range, something that gives you a little bit of power but not too much, this is honestly a really good choice. Are Chinese machines really all that bad? I honestly don't think so. I think as much hype and fanfare as there is around Japanese machines, JDMs, for cars or for bikes, the same thing is happening with China. And they are doing some pretty innovative things, I feel. I'm still in disbelief that a 700cc machine at this price comes stocked with cruise control. Although I'm not completely convinced on this bike, I think it really changed my perception of CFMoto. It's definitely really refreshing to see a new company try new things in this space, and I'm very excited to see what CFMoto has in store for the future, especially the SR500 Vroom. Man, the name just makes me smile, and the styling of the bike is beautiful. It looks like the whole retro phase is shifting over to the 80s with the new XSR 900 GP and now the SR500 Vroom. Excited for the future of new retro machines. It's going to be really cool to see what companies are going to be bringing to the table and what new innovations they're going to be trying to do. If there's anything you want to see, let us know in the comments below. You know, you guys have been asking for our opinion on the CFMoto for quite a while now, so here you go. With that, I'm Jake, and we'll see you on the road.